Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada ki Santa Vaishnava ki Namacharya Śarīre Haridasa ki Thanks for Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopal Gopinath Shyama Kundara Kunda Giri Bharava Pranavanam ki jai, Athuranam ki jai, Navadumankunam ki jai, Jagannath-pūram ki jai, Jagannath Baladev Subhadra-dev ki jai, Jamuna Mai ki jai, Ganges Mai ki jai, Tulasi Devi ki jai, Bhakti Devi ki jai, Samaveta Bhaktivinoda ki Nitai Gaura Premanande. All glories to Sangha. All glories to Sangha. All glories to Sangha. Glories to Shishi Guru Shri Gauranga. Bhakti Dhira Damodara Maharaj ki. Narayanam namaskritya Naram chaiva narottamam Devim saraswatim vyasam Tato jayam udiraye Nashtaprayesa badresu Nityam bhagavata sevayam Bhagavati uttama sloke Bhakti bhavati naistiki Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya Om ajnanatirmirandasya jnananjana shalakaya Chakshurmilitan yena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Gurun Shri Yuttapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Shakrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitantam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devan Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Visakhan Vitam Cha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopisa Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Abhe Brindhavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarudascha Kripa Sindhuvyaevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasari Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Nantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki Srila Prabhupada ki Hare Krishna. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 31. The movement of the living entities. Text 14. Ya pañca-bhūta-racite rahitaḥ śarīre cchanno yathendriya-guṇārtha-cid-ātmako tenāvikuṇṭha-mahimānam ṛṣiṁ enaṁ vande paraṁ prakṛti-pūruṣayoḥ pumāṁsam Yaha who pañca-bhūta, five gross elements, racite, made of, rahitaḥ, separated,
śarīre, in the material body, cchanno, covered, rahitaḥ, unfitly, yathendriya, senses, guṇā, qualities, ārtha, object of senses, chit, ego, ātmaka, consisting of, enaṁ, I, tenāvikuṇṭha, by a material body, āvikuṇṭha-mahimānam, whose glories are obscured, ṛṣiṁ, all-knowing, tam, that, enaṁ, unto him, vande, I offer obeisances, paraṁ, transcendental, prakrti, to material nature, pūruṣayoḥ, to the living entities, pumāṁsam, unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace is found at 𝐁𝐡𝐚𝐤𝐭𝐢 Bhakti BDDSwami Prabhupada ki. I am separated from the Supreme Lord because of my being in this material body, which is made of 5 elements. And therefore, my qualities and senses are being misused. Although I am essentially spiritual, because the Supreme Personality of Godhead is transcendental to material nature, and the living entities, because he is devoid of such a material body, and because he is always glorious in his spiritual qualities, I offer my obeisances unto him. Report. The difference between the living entity and the Supreme Personality of Godhead is that the living entity is prone to be subjected to material nature, whereas the Supreme Godhead is always transcendental to material nature, as well as to the living entities. When the living entity is put into material nature, then his senses and qualities are polluted or designated. There is no possibility for the Supreme Lord to become embodied by material qualities or material senses, for he is above the influence of material nature and cannot possibly be put in the darkness of ignorance like the living entities. Because of his full knowledge, he is never subjected to the influence of material nature. Material nature is always under his control, and it is therefore not possible that material nature can control the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Since the identity of the living entity is very minute, he is prone to be subjected to material nature. But when he is freed from this material body, which is false, he attains the same spiritual nature as the Supreme Lord. At that time, there is no qualitative difference between him and the Supreme Lord. But because he is not so quantitatively powerful as to never be put under the influence of material nature, he is quantitatively different from the Lord. The entire process of devotional service is to purify someone, to purify oneself of this contamination of material nature and put oneself on the spiritual platform where he is qualitatively one with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In the Vedas, it is said that a living entity is always free. Asango hi param, asango hi ayam purusha. The living entity is liberated. His material contamination is temporary. And his actual position is that he is liberated. This liberation is achieved by Krishna consciousness, which begins from the point of surrender. Therefore, it is said here, I offer my respectful obeisances unto the Supreme Person. That is the end of Srila Prabhupada's purport to text 14 of Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 31, entitled The Movement of the Living Entities. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. I am separated from the Supreme Lord because of my being in this material body, which is made of 5 elements, and therefore my qualities and senses are being misused. Although I am essentially spiritual, Srila Bhakti-Vinod said in Jaiva Dharma that we have become so used to the experience we have in the material world that our secondary nature has become primary nature. And our primary nature has become secondary. Practically speaking, everyone thinks, I am this body. Everyone accepts that. Even those who try to go above that, I'm not the body. You hardly find one who knows that I am also not the mind. Many people believe that. Okay, if I'm not the body, but I'm the mind. Because the mind is controlling everything. So the living entity who has become fortunate is seeing that we are covered by pañca-bhūta-racite, the 5 great elements, pañca-bhūta-racite, 5 great elements. Bhumi upon nalovayo, bhumi apo nalovayo, mano buddhi, ahankara, bina prakriti me astada, bina prakriti astada, 8 separated energy of Krishna. Bina Prakriti. The separated energy of Krishna. They are separated energy. It's material energy. So it's separated. So because we are covered by this pañca-bhūta-racite, we have forgotten who we are. We forgot who we are. We forgot who Krishna is. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, this is our misfortune. Our misfortune in this material world is that we don't know who we are. We don't know who is Krishna. We don't know what is our relationship. Everyone thinks, even as we are hearing, even as we are hearing, Everyone thinks about this body. Everyone thinks like that. I'm this body. And we are acting like that. I'm this body. Everyone thinks like this. Look at our activities. Which of our activities resemble activities of the soul? Which activity resembles the soul activity, spiritual activity? Except someone comes to Krishna consciousness. And even when someone comes to Krishna consciousness, we do this thing as routine. Routine, something, okay, I'll get up in the morning, right? I'll take a bath, okay? Eat something, you go to work, so go the whole day, you come back to the house, you take a bath, you eat, you sleep, you wake up, the same thing. That's what we do for 100 years. We change that body. We take another one, it's the same thing we're going to do. In any species we take, the same activity we do. So we are functioning within the body. Very rare to find someone who is working on the soul platform. Even those who understand, Aham Brahmasmi, Prabhupada said, and then what? Aham Brahmasmi, and then what? Aham Brahmasmi means what? I'm Brahman, so what? If one is not acting as Brahman, that is useless. One must act as Brahman, as we act on the spiritual platform. My activities should be spiritual. Papa said here that that is the whole purpose of Krishna consciousness, to change our activities into spiritual activities. So the Jiva-Atma, who is very fortunate, is saying this. Although essentially we are all spiritual beings, essentially, our activities do not seem to be spiritual. Everything we do is centered within this body. How to keep this body as long as possible, or for eternity. There are some spiritual, not spiritual, some religious organization, what is their belief? Their belief is that God is coming very soon to make this world heaven. So you don't have to go anywhere. What is the meaning of that? When you hear what is the meaning of that philosophy? God is coming here to come and make this place paradise, see, heaven. So you don't have to go anywhere. You stay here. What is the meaning of that? What makes someone to preach, to believe, to accept like that? What is the idea? What is in the mind? I am this body. I belong here. This is my place. And everything I'm doing, complete, is perfect. This is all right. I should stay here. Why go there? And the same people look at their foolishness. Look at their foolishness. The same people. They said, before God will do that, He would take 144 people to the paradise. And then after that, He will make this place paradise. So I ask, if this place is paradise, why 144 will still go there? It's not in your Bible. They don't have answer to that in their Bible. Foolishness. It's all foolishness that we are this body. And everything we do here is perfect, it's complete, as you stay here. But the soul is saying, our senses, headed by the mind, deceiving us to accept what is suffering as enjoyment. Asatire sotokori monidita pañca-bhūta-racite. Narottam Das, not me. It's Narottam Das. It's the song he's singing. Asatire sotokori moni. That is, which is temporal, has become eternal. Pañca-bhūta-racite. Instead of us to take shelter on another lotus field, we are taking shelter of that which is temporal. This is the religion for all conditioned souls. So the living entity said here That is my situation. But there is another situation which is for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is different from me. Because the Supreme Personality of God, he is transcendental to material nature and the living entities. The Supreme Personality of God is transcendental to the material nature and the living entities, all of us. We are coming from him. Because he is devoid of such a material body, and because he is always glorious in his spiritual qualities, I offer my respectful, my humble obeisances. I offer my respect, my obeisances unto him. So Prabhupada said the difference between the living entity and the Supreme Personality of Godhead is that the living entity is prone to be subjected to material nature, whereas the Supreme Godhead is always transcendental to material nature, as well as the living entities. In Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna said in chapter 13 in Bhagavad Gita, one who knows the two controllers of this body, one who knows the control of the two controllers of this body, the super soul and the jiva soul, living in this body, one who knows the two and knows that the super soul is superior to the jivas and is superior to material energy, is a liberated soul. It's liberated. When people say, Tattvam Masi, I am that. Who is that? The Supreme. Why are you Supreme? Why are you Supreme? What is making us to be Supreme? That I cannot see what happened in my back. That's Supreme. Who knows what is happening behind us? Who knows? I'm not first knows. Everybody knows what is happening behind. How is that God? Huh? How is that God? How many of us will see if the light goes off? Who will see? If the light goes off, who will see? How many will see? You'll not see. So how is that God? How? How is that God? What makes us to think that we are God? Even if you don't say it, our activities show us like that we are God. We feel like that. We all think we are God. So how is that? What makes us to think that we are God? When we are limited to every situation we are limited to every situation. Every situation. Can put us into difficulty. We can become bewildered. Yes, Krishna get bewildered. You understand? Krishna also get bewildered. But that Krishna bewilderment is enjoyment, it's ecstasy. That is his ecstasy. Our unbewilderment is confusion, frustration, and anxiety. Krishna's bewilderment is because he's a complete person and nothing is missing in him. In us, everything is missing. So many things are missing. In God, there is nothing which is missing. Confusion, anxiety, bewilderment, all are existing in him. But we don't have everything complete. Not all is complete. So many things are missing. We cannot see what is behind us. Krishna can see everywhere, everything behind. That is Krishna's position. He is not under the control of anyone or anything. Never. That is Krishna's position. When a living entity is put into material nature, then his senses and qualities are polluted or designated. I can speak one language. You can't hear other languages. Designation. What is designation? So one is designated. I'm this. That's our limitation. Right? For Krishna hears all languages. He's a linguistic Krishna. He's a linguist. All language. Even the language of the birds, the animals. All languages, because he is the source. Everything comes from him. He speaks all languages perfectly, completely. Because it is coming from him. But not everyone will speak that way. Mauritius are different. You can speak 4 languages, but not other countries you can speak like that. Other country 1 language or 2, but you can speak 4 languages. This is different. Maybe you are nearer to God. You can speak 4 languages. Your linguist is like Krishna. But majority of people is 1 language, 1. And even that we don't understand it perfectly. Even those whose language English, they have to go to school to understand English. That is our position as the Supreme, and we claim to be Supreme. Even the language you are born into, you have to go to school to learn it, have to speak it. So how are we Supreme? The Supreme is different in all circumstances. He's different. Yeah, he looks like us, but he is different, completely different, 100% different. So that is Krishna's position, eternally. There is no possibility for the Supreme Lord to become embodied by material qualities or material senses, for he is above the influence of material nature and cannot possibly be put into the darkness of ignorance by the living entities. Now, Krishna has unlimited names because he has unlimited activities and unlimited qualities. One of his unlimited names is Triadish. Krishna, Triadish. He is the Lord of the trees. He is the Lord of the 3 planetary systems. He is the Lord of the 3 gunas. He is the Lord of the 3 Purushas. He is the Lord. He is the Supreme. So Triadish is Krishna's position. If we are called Triadish, you are Triadish Das, not Triadish Param. No. Triadish Das, the servant of Triadisha. So Krishna cannot come under the influence of Maya because he himself is declared Maya. Maya adakshena prakriti swatisa chara charam. That's Krishna's position. He is the one giving the potency to Maya to act. Yes, his name Brahma Samhita also. Durga is very busy creating, destroying, and maintaining, but she's doing that because of Krishna. She's doing that because of Krishna. And foolish people worship Durga and forget the master. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Advaita Acharya. When Advaita Acharya was chastised by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Lord Advaita Acharya, he said, anyone who worships the servant and forgot the master is a fool. Why is he talking like that? He's saying that those who worship Lord Shiva, worship Durga, they are fools. And they worship Krishna. And he gave example like Ravana. They are fools. Hiranyakasipu. He said they are fools. Worshipping the servant and forgetting the master, that is foolishness. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself, he said, those who worship the master and forget the servant, they are also fools. Because if from the servant you get the master. After he glorified Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also started glorifying him. Those who worship the master and disrespect the servant, they are fools. They will never get me. Never get me. They will not get me. So what is the best thing? Krishna himself has said, Mad Bhakta Puja Vyadikas. The worship of my devotee is superior to my worship. To my worship, because the servant will make us to know the master. He will give you permission to see the master from the gate. He will give, is the master from the gate. Who's going to give you permission to see the master? The servant. The servant will give permission. Then you can see the master. Without the permission, the servant can turn you away from the gate. Even though the master has given you appointment to come, the servant can turn you back. It happened proper lila. Proper lila. In America, so the prophet has given appointment to Alex Ginsberg. And when he came, the devotee turned him away. Meanwhile, prophet has cooked nicely. He has spent his time. He cooked nice feast, waiting for the guests to come. The guests came and the disciples sent him back. And prophet was waiting. He's coming, he's not coming. But he had been turned away. And prophet had that. No, I'm expecting a guest to come. You see any person can say, hey, somebody came here, we say, wow, Prabhupada, why? I've been waiting for him since. Prabhupada, we don't know. We are sorry, we don't know. We are sorry. Sorry. Yes, that is the duty of the master, of the servant. The servant are very powerful. They turn the guests away while the master is waiting. So, if you respect the servant, then you can get the master. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, anyone who worships the master and forget the servant is a fool. You will not get my message. Anyone who disrespects you, anyone who disrespects my servant will never get me. Never. The servants are very important to Krishna. So we should be servant. Of course, that is our nature. That is our eternal position, that we are servant. So we have to accept our position and act as a bona fide servant. We'll be glorious all over the world. All over the world. We worship you eternally. And your glories will remain forever. Yes, forever. When the pure devotee leaves, they don't go. They don't go. Scripture said, the pure devotees, they use a boat to cross the ocean of material existence, but they don't take the boat away. How is that? If you use a boat to cross the river, the boat will be that side. The boat will not be here. But in our scripture, it is there. The sadhus, they use the boat to cross, but they still leave it behind. How? I've read it many times in the Upanishad, and I'm teaching Upanishad. I don't understand what it means. What does that mean? Acharyas, they use the boat to cross. You understand what I'm saying? They use the boat to cross the river. They won't take it. They will still leave it there. How? They send the boat back alone to fly back? Or how did they do that? Is it true? Is there in Sri Upanishad? Is it there? Have you read it also? Like that? Can you remember? It is there. You sure? Is there? Can you remember? Because I'm going to ask you a question. It is there in the Sri Upanishad. It is there. Sri Upanishad. The sadhus, they use the boat to cross the river. Boat? The boat is not that side. The boat is still here. You never had it? No? You have done Bhakti Shastri? Yeah? You have done Bhakti Shastri? I think many of you did Bhakti Shastri. Huh? You did. So please, tell us.
What leave the teachings behind.
Hmm?
They leave the teachings behind. And then others can follow that teaching.
So, Srila Prabhupada carried the holy name away when he was living? Prabhupada, did he take the holy name away from us? Eh?
No.
Did he carry the deities away? Did he take your prasadam? Did he carry the Bhagavatam? Eh? Did he carry the temples away? Are you still here? So, what are you doing here? You know to cross also? Is it not? Yes, we are here to cross. So that's what it means. Now you understand. So, everything is still here. Everything they use is still here. The same thing is still here. So we will follow the same footstep they traverse, and we will get there. So they don't carry anything away. Everything is still here. So suppose someone tells you today, see, I'm tired of your activities in this temple. I don't want to see. You just leave this movement. Is that the end of your Krishna consciousness? Huh? Did he take your bead from you? If you take the bead, did he take the mantra from your mouth? Huh? Did he take it from your mouth? Huh? Did he remove the Krishna from your heart? It's not still there? So, everything is still there. Everything is still there for us. Because it is a question of knowing what is it and following that. We'll still get there. That is Krishna's position, that he is different from the living entity, although we are his part and parcel. Yes, in quality, we are the same. In quantity, there's a great difference. Great difference. Krishna cannot be under the influence of what he has created. But here in the material world, everything we have created here influences us. Everything. Is it not? You don't get anxiety when your phone gets off and on network. You don't get anxiety when your networks. Well, especially when you have an anxiety and you call someone, the phone is not going, not good network. You feel happy? Did you enjoy it? Oh, what is this? Bad network. Our network is poor. Poor connection, reconnecting. And your pause, you're hanging there, reconnecting. You'll be hanging there. Is that what you get the phone for? Huh? So, that is not the situation with Krishna. Krishna is never disappointed with his creation or his creatures. Because he's above everything. No one can put him in anxiety, and no one can make Krishna below his position as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. No one can do that. No one can put Krishna in anxiety. Even powerful demigods cannot do that. But, listen, Sanatana Goswami said, Lord Krishna cried piteously. The whole Dwaraka city became alarmed. You know anxiety? Krishna cried. He cried. Do you believe that? Krishna cried. Krishna, the Supreme Lord, cried heavily. The whole Dwaraka city. Dwaraka is a country, not a city. Dwaraka is a country. You have to use buses to go from one country to another country. They are traveling from here to other places. Dwaraka. When you hear Dwaraka, don't think that is what you see today when you go to Dwaraka. That is not Dwaraka. Dwaraka is a country or continent. So if from Ugrasena's house to Krishna's palace, you have to take plane to go. That's Dwaraka. Try to understand. Certain things we talk and discuss, we don't understand what it is in reality. Dwaraka, I'm saying, not me saying, it's in the scripture. from Ugrasena's house to Lord Krishna's palace or palaces, you take a plane to go. Yes, that's Dwarka. That's Dwarka. It's not a small village, it's a small place. No, you know what they're saying. What you see is different. You're doing that is Dwarka. Ugrasena alone. Sanatana Goswami said, you cannot count the number of people in Dwarka. You cannot count. You cannot count. Nobody can count how many people are in Dwarka. In this material world. In this material world. That is Krishna. So we should try to understand the person we are talking about, Krishna. Dwarka, just Dwarka. We're not talking about Mathura, we are talking about Vrindavan and other places. Just Dwarka alone, you cannot count how many people are there. At least, if you want to try, 38 million people. 38 billion people.
3 million.
38 billion people. Sukadeva trying to give us figures. So we can have something to think of. And Ugrasena the king, his security guards. This is security guard. Or the school, or the teachers in Dwarka. The teachers, millions. Teachers. That's Dwarka. That's the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And we say we are Krishna. Huh? What? what a serious malady. That's insanity. How? How can somebody say he's Krishna? That is our ignorance because you don't know. We don't know who is Krishna. Then we can think like that. So he cannot be under the influence of anything or anyone. He controls everything. He originates everything. Because of his full knowledge, he is never subjected to the influence of material nature. Material nature is always under his control. And it is therefore not possible that material nature can control the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Since the identity of the living entity is very minute, he is prone to be subjected to material nature. But when he is freed from this material body, which is false, he attains the same spiritual nature as the Supreme Lord. It is confirmed by Narada Muni. In the first canto of Bhagavatam, Narada Muni is speaking to his disciple Vyasadeva. He said, only in my foolishness, in my ignorance, I will sing myself separate from the Lord. In actuality, we are the same quality. We are the same. When one gets out of this madness, you see that we have the same quality with the Krishna. Quality. We have the same quality. And in Vaikuntha, we have all his opulences as he has. All the 6 opulences, we have it. All desirable. Means there's something which is necessary to have. Our material assets are not desirable. All our material assets here are not desirable. When God, Vaikuntha, all Krishna opulences are desirable because they are pleasing. They don't have frustration, no anxiety for anything. Everything is tasty, so they are desirable. In the material world, what is desirable? Huh? What is desirable in the material world? What?
The spiritual master.
That is a different thing. That is the spiritual master. The spiritual master is not in the material world. You see what I'm saying? It's not in the material world. Yes. Krishna, not here. Devotion, not here. These 3 things are not here. Bhakti, Bhakta, Bhagwan. They are not here in material world. They are not here. They are in spiritual world. Even if they show here. So Vishwanath Chakravarti said that. Nikunja nora tikeli siddhai. Jayali bir yutira pekshaniya. Patratidan shed ativala bhashya. Vande Guru Shri Charanaravinda. The spiritual master is not here. Like you, if you put a bucket of water here, right? You see the sun inside. Is it not? You see the sun. So the sun god is not there. The sun god in the planet, the sun planet, the sun god is not there. This is the reflection. That is the position of a spiritual master. A pure devotee, pure devotee of Krishna. He has turned himself here for our benefit. So when he is not physically attending to people, he is assisting the gopis and arranging tasty preparations, tasty facilities, tasty arrangement for Radha and Krishna's enjoyment. That is the position of a pure devotee, not in the material world. Bhakta, Bhakti, Bhagavan. In the spiritual world, and not here. This is Krishna's position. All tasty. All tasty. Not part of the material world. So this is Krishna consciousness. The entire process of devotional service is to purify oneself of this contamination of material nature and put oneself on the spiritual platform where he is qualitatively one with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In the Vedas, it is said that the living entity is always free. Always free. Asango 𝐒𝐰𝐴𝐴 Purusha. That also is then Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna said, Anaditvat Nirgunatvat. That is Krishna's position. The soul is never conditioned. The soul is never troubled. It's always eternal, never born. That's the nature of the soul, the spirit soul. But we use the word conditioned soul, conditioned souls, conditioned soul. That is our imagination. In reality, the soul is completely transcendental. Transcendental. How can a paper break iron? Have you seen that before? A paper breaking iron? Have you seen that before? It's the iron that should break the paper. The soul is superior to the material energy. So how will the material energy control the superior spirit soul? How? How is that? You understand? No. The soul is superior to material energy. Because the soul is eternal like Krishna. Material energy is inferior. So how the inferior will control the superior? How is that? Because we have made a grave offense, Krishna allows us to be influenced by his energy. The offense of turning our face away from Krishna is so grave that Krishna allows us, give permission to Maya to cover us. But in actuality, the soul is transcendental by nature. That's the nature of the soul. Transcendental. That's what I mean by transcendental. Transcendental means what? It's above everything material. So Krishna gave permission to Maya to cover us up because of this great offense. And pure devotees realize this. The pure devotees, they realize this. So you see, their Krishna consciousness is very, very strong, fixed, determined, because they realize this. I must get out of this illusion. I must get out from here, from this illusion. I must get out from this illusion. I will not remain here. The living entity is liberated. Liberated. His material contamination is temporary, and his actual position is that he is liberated. Properly repeating. This liberation is achieved by Krishna consciousness, which begins from the point of surrender. Surrender. Therefore, it is said, I offer my respectful obeisances unto the Supreme Person. Hare Krishna. Hare. Comments? Questions?
you say that the one who neglects the Lord and he worships the servant, the fool. At the same time, you say that one who forgets the servant and worships the Supreme Lord is a fool. So, how should we worship the servant and the Supreme Personality of God?
Yes, when Advaita is offering his prayers of gratitude to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he says, one who does not worship the Lord and worshiping the servant is a fool. Because we are worshiping demigod. That is what he is referring to. Worshiping demigod. This is foolishness. Because the demigods are not independent. Everything we get from them is coming from Krishna. And their duty is to help us to worship the Krishna. But they are taking that. Because we accept them like that. This is foolishness. So it is condemned by Advaita. It is wrong for us to neglect the Supreme and worship the servant, the demigods, who are the Krishna representatives. For material transactions, Krishna has his special representatives of material transactions. The demigods are material side. The pure devotees are from the spiritual side. So that is what Advaita is saying. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also said, one who worships the master and forget the servant, who are teaching us the position of the master, we are also fools. That's ignorance. We don't know that the master is very important. Because the servants, they will train us to know the importance of the master. So the problem here is what? What's the problem? The problem is one who is worshipping the servant and forgetting the master is making an offense. Making offense. What is the offense? That we are thinking the servant as the Supreme God. That is an offense. Why should we worship demigod? Because indeed is the Supreme. Someone tell me, you see, Prabhu, let me tell you, let me tell you. This is Krishna, I don't like. I don't like him. Shiva, yes, I like Shiva. Because, you see, can I go to your kitchen with my trouser? I said, no. You see, I can go for Lord Shiva like this. No problem. Says I don't like your Krishna. I like Shiva. He's very merciful. He's a God for me. If I pray to your Krishna now, it will take me 1,000,000 years. If I pray to Lord Shiva now, I'll get it. So, for me, Shiva. I say, very good, very good. I say, very good, very good. Do you know how many times I've been doing this? Do you know how many lifetimes we have been doing this business? And every lifetime you come here, you do the same thing, always in need, always in need, always the same thing you're repeating. But if you go to Goloka, you don't need anything again. It's finished. So which one is better? To serve Krishna and go to Goloka and be free, or to worship Lord Shiva and remain here and keep worshiping. Every time you come the same thing. Every time you come the same thing. Every time you come the same thing. Huh? Which one is better? It's less intelligent. That's the point. So we should not consider demigods to be supreme. At the same time, we should not minimize the devotees who are teaching on how to serve Krishna. We should not minimize them. That is the teachings between the two. All right, thank you. Any other question? Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
When Lord Krishna was in Mathura of the killing function, so Devaki and Vasudeva asked him to stay, his parents. On the other side, Brajavasis were waiting for him to come. So the two devotees, they are having feelings for Lord Krishna, so devotion for Lord Krishna. Then Lord Krishna, it seems that he accepts one devotee like his feelings and rejects another one. So could you explain about it? Does it favors?
That's why Krishna was crying, I was telling you. That was Krishna was crying. When Uddhava started telling Krishna, Uddhava told Krishna, see how the Brajabasis are feeling. You kill Kaliya, and you chastised Kaliya and drove him away from Jamuna. He sent him away, and now Kaliya has left. The idea was to make us relieve from the torture of Kaliya, but that would have been better for us. It would have been better for us. It is better for us for you not to have sent Kaliya away, because in the pain of separation we will enter into Kaliya lake and die. But now you send him away. We have no opportunity to commit suicide and die. So what you did, it is a big mistake. And also see, Krishna, see, you left. In pain of separation, Govardhan has reduced. You see, the tallest Govardhan is like this. No, it's like this size. But when Krishna was here, when he lifted the Govardhan, it entered into heaven. So, in pain of separation, we can climb there and commit suicide, we can jump down and die. Now you reduce the Govardhan to this side, we have no chance to commit a suicide. Krishna, what we have done is terrible. Uddhava was telling Krishna this, Krishna was crying. That is why he cried. Hearing how the Brajabasis are suffering in separation from him, Krishna started to cry. Baladev became alarmed. They came to see his brother crying. Ugrasena, Gargamuni, all of them. This has never happened in Dwaraka. What is happening? They all came. And when they came and saw Krishna, they joined Krishna in crying. That is ecstasy. You want to be pure devotee? You want to be a pure devotee? Eh? No, because you want to cry. You want to be a pure devotee, this will be association. Krishna never left Vrindavan even for a moment. There's nothing like Krishna leaving Vrindavan. But the cowhead boys, they told Krishna, Krishna, when we are playing with you in the forest, and in the course of our play, you went behind the tree. Just for the moment you went behind the tree, we are in anxiety. So what would happen to us when you will travel to a foreign country? What will happen to us, Krishna? Eh? What will happen? You should not go. Uddhava was narrating this to Krishna, and Krishna was hearing. Hearing all this from Uddhava. He was speaking. Balaram was last. Uddhava went first and came back. Then Balaram went, and then he came back. So he's giving Krishna the experience he has had with the Brajabasis. So Balaram said, see Krishna, I don't want to speak beyond here because it will worsen the situation. It will make the situation worse because If you hear this, you will faint. Now you are crying. The next thing will be what? Huh? It will be worse than this. So let me not continue to talk about what is happening to the Bhajapassis. They are in pain, serious pain. Especially, there's one gopi there, especially Srimati Radharani. She is already dead. In pain, separation from. This is the bliss. Vipralambha does not cost one, but it simply facilitates our enjoyment, our ecstasy. So Krishna created this. Krishna never lived Vrindavan. He never lived Vrindavan. He never lived Vrindavan. But Krishna withdrew his physical presence. He withdrew the physical presence. So some few devotees are very fortunate to have access to Krishna all the time. Some will see Krishna sometimes. There are some devotees who see Krishna all the time, 24 hours. But I should see Krishna 24 hours. There's no time Krishna is out of her sight. So Krishna created that situation to entertain his devotees. So we are talking Krishna and left for Vrindavan. When Akrura came to Vrindavan to take Krishna and Balaram, and Krishna climbed, and Krishna and Balaram, they climbed on the chariot. They climbed on the chariot. All the gopis came before Krishna. Say, Krishna, you want to leave us from? Want to leave and go to Mathura? You want to go? When the gopis told Krishna like this, Krishna came down from the chariot and followed him to the forest. And Akrura came back and he saw Balaram is sitting there on the chariot. Krishna is not there. So Akrura came to Krishna. Akrura came to Balaram. Akrura came to Balaram. Where is your brother? Where is your brother now? We have to go. Kamsa is waiting. Not only Kamsa is waiting. Tell Krishna he should be merciful to his father and mother. Devaki and Vasudev, they are every day being tormented by Kamsa. Kamsa will raise his sword. I'll kill you now. They are always in anxiety. Krishna, let him come and help his people. But where is him? Krishna has left with the gopis. He went inside. Nobody saw. Nobody saw when Krishna was leaving, and nobody saw when Krishna was taking the gopis. He went. Sakura didn't see. He came to Balaram. Please, he's a brother. Bring him, let us go. So Balaram came down from the chariot and he looked on the ground. So he was able to see Krishna's footprint. Many people don't see that, but he was able to see Krishna's footprint. So from that he walked and walked and went and entered into the forest. Krishna was there with the gopi. They sat down there peacefully. So Krishna Bhagavan ki, he was there enjoying peacefully with so Krishna, Balaram came. Brother, come, let's go. And he took Krishna by hand, like you do the child, drag. No? So Balaram has to drag Krishna. Let us go. And he brought Krishna and sat him on the chariot. As soon as Krishna sat on the chariot, Akrura said, I don't want to waste time again because he will go again. I better leave now. He's very experienced in driving chariot. He's very experienced. The gopis, they were falling on the road, but Akrura was so expert that he knew how to maneuver. Are you wanting to bomb potholes when they are driving? Akrura is not like that. Akrura never enter potholes. He never climbed on the gopis because some gopis were falling on the ground to block Krishna, block the chariot. He maneuvered. He was very experienced. He was able to do everything and very, very fast. With speed. With his speed, he was able to take Krishna out of the Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Hare Krishna. Holiness Bhakti Dhira Damodara Maharaj ki.